And you know what? Fuck that. These guys are fucking awesome. They my niggas to the end of time.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I said good morning. What's poppin', everybody? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, Real Vince Taylor, reporting live. And yes, there is much to discuss this morning. So tune on in, pull up a chair, or put your phone right where you can reach it so you can keep the volume up and down. Because we're going to talk not only about the season 2 of Monarch and the finale, which literally just occurred not too long ago. But there's a couple other things on the docket that I wanted to wrap with you guys about, including, if you have been watching this podcast, you know that we're going to talk about the boys, because that's happening as well. In addition to the boys, one of our favorite shows from is still popping. And yeah, even though we did talk with your boy Nathan D. Simmons, aka One-Eyed Elgin, the other day, there's still a whole lot of crazy stuff going on in this show. I mean, people just doing whatever they want, driving wherever they feel like it. So I feel like it's at least worth a mention. So can we talk about that, please? In addition to this, Daredevil is still kicking ass. He's still outside doing his thug dizzle. And I ain't gonna lie, it's starting to get my appetite real hungry for more of this content. Let's discuss why. And there's even a few other things on the docket. Have a couple of announcements for you guys coming up in the future, things to look forward to. So this upcoming next week, for those of you who are fans of the show Daredevil, we will have on the one and only Jeremy Isaiah Earl, who does play the role of Cold North. We've spoken to him before, as you've seen him on our intro, but we get to talk to him about season 2 now. So prepare thyself, as he will be joining us next week. We will be having a recorded interview before that, but we're going to put all the clips out next week. We're going to hold it exclusively for all of y'all because we appreciate y'all. So thank y'all. Yeah, that's what it is. And another quick announcement, not to sit and try to one-up our last few interviews. By the way, if you haven't seen them, I would recommend you go and check out our most recent interviews with the one and only Nia Long, of course, with R.J. Kyler, and with the homie Nate D, like I said. But upcoming as well in these upcoming weeks, we did just secure, as we do on an annual basis, the homies Carl and Love Jones, who, if you've been paying attention, they've been out there with We Are Martian B, the Martian Project, Martian Blueberry Project, excuse me, and they're literally out there like soliciting like hella voice actors, for those that don't know. So we want to see what it is that's all about. See if maybe, I don't know, some of our potential folks that we have watching as of right now are maybe open to being on that cast of whatever it is that they casting. Let's just keep it real. I really don't know what it is. I just know they're doing big things. Like, look, here they go right here with SZA, okay? And they got a lot of other things. There's a lot of other stuff here as well. I can show you some more of these pictures, but they got their own Instagram. Y'all can check them out. Oh, yeah, he said he fanned out a little bit when he saw her. And here is some of the shenanigans going on at the cons that they've been attending. So yeah, let's chat on that. But let's go ahead and get into the lead. And like I said, the lead right now for today, ladies and gentlemen, is the Monarchs. So, and I'm gonna keep it real. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little. We're gonna go ahead and get through today. And I may or may not have been, may or may not be coming directly from working out. Maybe not. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't have time to put on appropriate clothes. But here I am, nevertheless. So let's just go ahead and get on into it. So before we get into a lot of the heavy shows, I want to say thank y'all for tuning in, as you have been all these years, and bear with me as we get through this show with me, Olo, for the first time. I think I've done the show Olo once before, but not as often. So I appreciate the chat being here to co-ride with me. What's going on, Carmike? What's going on, Keisha? What's up, Fernando? What's up, Metatron? Okay, so we're gonna have this conversation. We're gonna have this conversation about Elgin being a huge problem. I don't know if that's really true. I don't even know if I like you coming out and saying all that, because my dog ain't did nothing but donate his eye and his hand to the greater good of the From Town. So what exactly is you trying to say, Fernando? How is he a huge problem? The dude tried to get everybody home. Okay, and here you go talking about he a problem. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that for real. But I do like this other comment you got where you say Monarch was fire, and I just want to at least speak on this a little bit. Now, listen, I'm gonna keep it real. I know we haven't really been following Monarch as tough as we have been some of the other shows, mainly because it's been such a smorgasbord of shows. We've had so much stuff to watch. We've been watching Invincible. We've been watching Darth Maul, which I don't know if y'all been watching, but I think that show is hella dope. Okay. We've been watching Daredevil, like I said, and also commenting on some other stuff like Michael, the movie, which Ty got a chance to see, and he may or may not pull up and give us his rendition on that. But there's been so much going on. Like Monarch, I feel like it just didn't really fit within the timeline. So now that we do have time, since they did have the Invincible finale last week, and we don't necessarily have to chat on that no more, I figured this would be a good time for us to get into some of the things that we haven't had an opportunity to discuss, and environment. But more so, in my opinion, for the television type of platform. Okay, because most of the time when we've been watching Godzilla and King Kong, you normally go watch a movie for it, or you pull up to Amazon, get your little Amazon, I said Amazon Prime, all right, and then you get you a little, some nachos, go cook you up a hot dog or something, sit down and watch it on an old classic type. But how often is it that we actually sat down to watch an actual Godzilla TV show? Well, that's what this is. It's like a Godzilla show. But now, since they have successfully, in my opinion, merged the two franchises in terms of King Kong and Godzilla, this is the baby of Godzilla and King Kong manifested into a TV show in which we get Kurt Russell, who actually plays the role of a man named, I think it's a Lee Shaw. All right. And he actually is doubled by his son, who is Wyatt Russell, and they play the same character but in different eras. All right, so let's rewind just a little bit so we can kind of at least get an idea of where we are and how we got there. So when Monarch came about, it's because they were trying to figure out, what was going on with Godzilla, King Kong, and Monarch is like the company. It's kind of like the Ghostbusters company, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like they pull up and they investigate, help, try to figure out how to rid the world, or at least maintain these titans, right? Titans being these overwhelmingly large creatures that roam the earth at times, or sea, or whatever that is. And so now we have a group that's dedicated to that and that alone. What's going on, Dave from Texas? What's going on, Anushka? And sorry for the IG followers who's I appreciate y'all on IG commenting, but if you're asking for money, we ain't got none. All right. And real quick side note, if you by chance happen to be in our IG chat right now and you're asking us for money because you so desperately need money, okay, but there's a blue check mark by your name and you got 300 followers, then you don't need money, my friend. You need to cancel your verified subscription, because I know right now you're paying about $16, $17 a month just to have that blue check by your name. And if you can afford $16, $17 a month, then you don't need somebody to hand you out some money on an Instagram live. So play this back, put it on repeat for anybody that's in the IG chat asking for money because desperate, I need help, please. Nah, bro, not with that blue check mark. You don't. I'm gonna need you to reevaluate your priorities. Anyway, so now we're just sitting there discussing what's going on with Monarch, right? So fast forward, Monarch helps with King Kong, Godzilla. They actually help orchestrate them fighting a couple times. They wanted to get rid of each other, only to find out that Godzilla and King Kong have this righteous place on this part of the earth where they kind of protect what it is that happens with regard to all the rest of the Titans. Even in one of these movies, King Kong essentially was heralded as the king of monsters. Okay, and they all came to him and kind of like bowed down. I'm talking Mothra, Godzilla, all of them. Godzilla has his place too. He's a little bit more sea-based, and he's back and forth between the worlds because now there's this new place, right? So you can go to this new place that's in between worlds, and that's where all these Titans live. Okay, so what happened in season 2 was at the end, all right, Kurt Russell's character Lee ends up going to that other place, Atreus, whatever it's called. Somebody Google it. Somebody let me know what the name of this weird place is that's in between worlds. All right. And yeah, actually that's crazy. We'll talk about that too. But the weird thing about it is he was gone, and his friend, who I want to say his name is Matt. All right, I can't prepare today. No, it's Bill. His friend Bill Randa. By the way, this is a whole mess going on with this whole family, by the way, if you weren't aware. Like, it just so happens this lady you just seen her face on the screen, that was Bill Randa's wife, but she messed around with Lee, who is Kurt Russell's son's character. But she ended up having a family with Bill, but they still mutual friends. They had like a whole little throuple thing, only to find out that having a throuple or being in love with two people at the same time is hereditary. She passed that trait down to her son. She had a son who ended up having 2 wives at the same time. The dude did the whole Kramer versus Kramer thing and had one wife in Japan with the family, with the son, and another wife in San Francisco with the daughter. And they met each other in this whole series, and they had to come to grips with the fact that they had the same dad on opposite sides of the world, which is a whole weird thing, right? So I cannot remember the name of this place, but he's in this area where Godzilla lives, okay? So now the daughter, his friend's, Bill's wife's son's daughter, because they do some weird time travel and stuff, ends up trying to save him, all right? This is his daughter that I'm talking about. Well, not his daughter. It's Bill Randa's daughter, Kate Randa. Okay, Kate Randa is a product of not Wyatt, okay, this isn't going so well. Not Lee, but Lee's friend Bill's daughter. Okay, and Lee's friend Bill. Okay, you know what? All right, I'm confusing my own self. So Lee was in a relationship with Keiko. Keiko had a relationship with Bill. Bill and Keiko had kids. This is Keiko. Keiko was in a love triangle with Bill and Lee, even though she married Bill, because I think she met him first and they both kind of was quirky or whatever. So they have kids. Keiko falls into an endless void. Ultimately, she ends up going to this other place where Godzilla and all of them came from. And while she's there, that whole time thing goes weird. Like, they don't age. They don't have the same time. You know how time isn't linear, blah, blah, blah. So they actually unintentionally dropped her. No, I will not. It's happening. Pause. ADHD attack. No, I won't help you. I am Zayd. No, this is not a place to hold out a cup and ask for donations. We want some commentary. All right, we just chilling. We having a good chat. Sorry, I gotta stop letting them get to me like that. But yeah, so they actually have a new a relationship. Bill, Keiko get married. Keiko falls down a hole into the void where time runs differently. Okay. They later on in life find her, but she hasn't aged. All right, she hasn't aged, but her whole family has. Her son is now grown to the point where he's grown and has 2 children. All right, one in Tokyo and one in San Francisco. It is like a whole mess. Okay, this is Bill and Keiko. Bill and Keiko this is them getting married. All right, kind of shotgun type marriage, kind of like a Vegas kind of whole. What they call that when you just get married right quick? Where they go and just jump in and get married? Elope. They went over there and got eloped and stuff. He madly in love with her, but then she ends up falling down that hole, and he ends up spending the next few decades after she falls into this hole looking for her. He can't find her for nothing. He's sad. He wants to put his family back together. She thinks that he left. His son ends up being neglected because he spends a lot of his time trying to figure out what happened to his girl. Unfortunately, I think he ends up, spoiler alert, not making it in the process, because I mean he ages. I mean, he just ages out for the most part, but in that whole entire time span, he does, like I said, put together, he does have that family. Now with that family, he's now produced this young man, Hiroshima. We're just gonna call him Hero for right now. Hero has the 2 kids, and now one of Hero's 2 kids is fighting to save, because this whole Titan is like, yo, I just woke up and I was in a whole other place and I don't know where I'm at. So the conflict for the whole entire series, at least this season, is centered around this animal, I shouldn't call it animal, but this beast here on the left-hand side, which they call Titan X, trying to figure out its way and navigate its way through Earth or whatever. All right, so let me just give you my real quick little bitty opinion as it pertains to this. I think that the show, frankly, is entertaining from a monster standpoint, but it gets a little murky when you start bringing in all of the familial aspects. Though I do think that that was pretty cool, because we are at least able to have some sort of character arcs within the storyline that's outside of the monsters and the beasts. So that's cool, but at the same time, it's like, all right, it's a whole lot going on. All right, and for example, you'll notice that right here on this flyer, you see a whole host of characters. Let's go down the list of characters. On the bottom left-hand corner, on this right-hand side, that's Bill Randa. Next to him is Keiko. In the middle right there is Kate. And then there's her homegirl, who actually was in a relationship with her for a short period of time. Those 2 end up not making it, but that's her brother right there on the other side, on the far right-hand side. That same girl, which is appropriately placed in this flyer, ends up kind of having a relationship with both the brother and the sister. So that seems to be a common theme in Monarch, is thruples. There seems to be a whole thruple thing going on in Monarch. I think they're pro-thruple, which, hey, so am I. What's wrong with that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, get it how you live. Get it how you like. Whatever it is. I ain't here to yuck your yum. I'm surprised that King Kong wasn't in no throuple or nothing like that, but that's a whole other story. So the fact of the matter is, that's the driving force. That's the behind the scenes story. That's this isn't Kong. This isn't Godzilla. That's the meat, the sauce that goes on the spaghetti. You know what I mean? But it's not the meatballs and the spaghetti itself. They do end up having another conflict. So of course you get Titan X right here, who's roaming the world. And now after Kate goes and releases Titan X, somehow we learn that she's got some sort of special psychic powers, which they don't really elaborate on. They just kind of say, oh, all of a sudden she comes out and she can talk or listen to some of these beasts. We're like, okay, why? How? What is she? Do they way to deal with the monsters? That's kind of what Monarch is a little bit about. It's, do we destroy the monsters, get rid of the threat, put a big void between us and the monster world? Do we collectively approach the monster world with the outstretched hand saying, hey, we have to live on the same earth. Let's work together and figure out how to coexist? Or do we say, nah, let's control the monsters. Let's put some sort of device, some chemical, some sort of, I don't know, tool in their brain and essentially make them our slaves, or at least make it so that we don't have to be beholden to their ferocity, to their clear dominance in terms of them being the more, let's just say, dangerous and definitely the more carnivorous of the different groups that we have on the face of the earth. That's the 3 different themes you're going to see, all represented by a bunch of different people. Okay, so Monarch, as of right now, is kind of on the is just kind of on the protect humans at all costs realm. It's a little bit in shambles, okay, because people didn't really understand like why Monarch is keeping these things secret. Like Monarch's the type where they'll know that Godzilla is on Earth, but they don't want to freak everybody out, so they keep it secret. But then there are a couple other companies as well that are out there. One of which is headed by this young lady named Brenda Holland. Brenda Holland comes into the fold because she is working for this other company that's trying to, like I said, find a way to control Godzillas, trying to find a way to control the monsters. And I don't, I don't necessarily think that that's the worst thing possible, but it's not necessarily what everybody is signing on to. Okay, this role that she's playing, this new way of life that she's thinking about, everybody doesn't support it, but guess who does? This young lady here, who goes by the name of May, all right, played by Kiersey Clemens. She ends up being a supportive role of this other company that wants to kind of see if they can control the monsters. Eventually, they learn that that's not a good idea. Titan X, as they call it, shows up on an island somewhere where they're trying to kind of trap him or her before they didn't know what it was. And they ultimately, what's up, dog? What you looking for? my dog just came up to me. They ultimately learn, like, look, no matter where you bring this thing, it's gonna be problems. It's gonna be death. It's gonna be destruction. It's gonna be an issue. So what do? The young lady who does end up learning that her plan doesn't work because she gets some of her friends killed in this whole debacle. She ends up having a little bit of a change of heart as she watches some of her friends, unfortunately, not make it through a mess that she caused herself. Okay, she gets a lot of them killed, and she says to herself, yo, maybe this wasn't the right idea. I just really want to do what's right, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. And as a result, she ends up having other thoughts. And I think that's cool. That's cool to see character arcs in this whole phenomenon. But ultimately, we're still left with this big mess of having a new Titan on this side of Earth. So what do they decide to do? Well, Isabella and her friend, sorry, my breakdowns ain't as good as Yaz's. I wish Yaz could do these. But Isabella and her friend decide they're going to try to use Titan X to do some time traveling. And that's where things get a little tricky for me. Remember when I told you that? So let me understand this. So now the son of Hero is going to go try to find his dad. That's Kentaro, the son of Hero, who is Keiko's son's son. All right. He's going to try to find his dad. Now, mind you, quick spoiler alert. Whoop, whoop. Unfortunately, the dad, who's Hiroshi, excuse me. Unfortunately, Hiroshi doesn't necessarily make it all the way through season 2, but who knows? Does he? Because evidently they can go back and bring people back. It's kind of like got a whole monster MCU type thing. They, you can bring anybody back. There's parallel universes. I mean, I don't know. That didn't actually happen, but in theory. So now he is dead set on finding his dad and seeing if he can kind of figure out what they're going to do, because there's clearly going to be a season 3 where they release where they reveal what the true plan is as it pertains to them going either back in time, freezing time, going to the future, bringing people back from the past. I don't know, but it got real murky. All right. It got real murky. In addition to that, I ain't going to lie. Here's where I kind of lost it a little bit. I already told y'all I wasn't necessarily feeling the fact that Kate has this whole, worm, this monster whisperer vibe going on. All right. So that was kind of, hard to swallow because we didn't get any explanation as to why it happened. She just all of a sudden has this connection. And I know Keiko also has a connection, and it might be hereditary, but evidently her superpowers have been intensified through her experiences on the surface. But they also had this little rift thing right here. So they go to this thing, this lake, which evidently on this side of the planet is considered some sort of rift. All right. It's a rift. And in this rift, you can actually transport or travel from different parts of the earth. There's a whole bunch of these rifts. these rifts also not only allow you to transport items there, because Bill Randa was experimenting on these rifts. He was traveling from each of these different places. There was places in America, places in Europe, places in other places. And he would send like a little time capsule through the rift. They found all of these time capsules in this lake that you see right here. You see that lake? So right at that lake, they learned that that's what they called Grand Central Station. Wherever he was sending all of these tubes, all of these different time capsules with letters in them, some of them addressed to Keiko. We now learned that they all go to this one spot. And so this spot is now considered, quote unquote, Grand Central Station. So as of right now, they know that they can supposedly, in theory, use this spot as a place to transport the Titans back to where they came from, specifically Titan X, which is why you see Titan X going through that rift right here. Now, it got cheesy, all right? Because at the end, Titan X, which is the big Titan, which I ain't gonna lie, the Titan look real cool, like with the neon lights and all that stuff, man. Did you see that, Joe? Like this, look, let's keep it real. Let's be honest. This is cool. All right, this is cool right here. This is a cool looking monster. All right, it glows in the dark. You know, it doubles as a monster / nightlight. You know, it looks like it's probably, you know, look at all the lights. Oh, that's cool. And then somehow she has some telepathic connection with this monster. I just never understood why. They never gave us that explanation as to why. But the monster looks really cool. All right, that's pretty cool. Also, it's got these little jet monsters, you know, that essentially function as his children. He's one, you know, the Titan X actually lays eggs and has multiple, like I would assume like hundreds or maybe even thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of little kids, kind of like a spider would, you know, Charlotte's Web style. So that's a thing. But this whole like symbiotic relationship that Kate has with this Titan X, I don't know, man. This whole ET moment where he sticks his arm out or his tentacle or whatever and says, and they kind of like touch. I mean, what are we doing? Well, I didn't like that. All right. It's cool if she can hear the monsters, but now they dapping each other up. Now they shaking hands. Now they got a secret handshake. Like, is that what we doing now? We, you know, they cool like that. Like they go back like things on crack. That's how we doing it. That's how we doing it. Monarch. All right, this chick shows up, says a couple words, and all of a sudden we walking hand in hand through Candyland. Like, nah, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I get it. All the monsters aren't supposed to be so problematic. They're not all carnivorous beasts that want to just eat up all the humans, and they're trying to kind of convey that all monsters shouldn't be treated like a bunch of velociraptors that have been let loose from Jurassic Park and just need to be put down because they're going to hunt you in packs and all this other stuff. But as if you've followed us for a while, which we've been doing this for a little bit, you know that I didn't like the whole blue velociraptor storyline from Jurassic World. Don't make something that is predatory into my homie in a movie to make me happy. I mean, they already got King Kong functioning essentially as a security guard. They already got Godzilla functioning as a member of the naval fleet. And now they're going to have this Project X, this Titan X, essentially as like a girl, you know, they like girlfriends. They're like, hey girl, hey bitch, let me spill the tea. I'm coming back for the tea, ho. You know what I'm saying? Like, her, go ahead, dap me on up. I'm gonna be back. I gotta head down to what you call it. Let me find out the name of that world, man. Let me see. Titan world in Monarch. yeah. So I don't know if I like that, man. I'm not a big fan of turning things into like friendly things, so to speak. I'm more of like a look, we're gonna need there to be some sort of real monsters that are just real monsters. And what we're kind of figuring out here is that this world of Monarch is trying to give us friendly monsters, you know, and on top of that, I will prove my point by saying this at the end as well. A lot of us, if you did follow the show, then you know that it did end with a special guest Okay, we actually had a somebody that we saw that we're like, oh, well, look at this. And guess who it was? If I'm not mistaken, we saw Mothra. All right, Mothra is now on the Monarch cast, so to speak. Mothra played a pivotal role in the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. And now it looks like we may be actually seeing Mothra join the cast of Monarch in terms of the monsters and whatnot. So, oh, they're reaching out. Oh, reach out and touch somebody's tentacle. And the whole, oh, I can see my own self in the past through this rift, which also, frankly, is a little fascinating, if I could be honest. All right, let's keep it real. The fact that they could see each other when they were in that rift, I'm talking about Lee, and Lee as his old self played by Kurt Russell versus Lee as his young self played by Wyatt Russell. It's a fascinating thing because essentially what they're showing us is that you can not only travel through time, but you can communicate with those other forms of yourself through the rift. Like they essentially, he was talking to himself for those last few minutes in the season finale. And he was trying to talk to Keiko, and he was like, he's like, what is he saying? What is he saying? He's like, I was just telling you goodbye type thing. Like, well, why you ain't just say that? You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to find that fascinating. They are now trying to not only enter the realm of monsters. Let's be real. You know, they had her bouncing back and forth between relationships. And, you know, she was real just kind of on the, we can say she was annoying by all means. Absolutely. But, you know, ultimately, I mean, she's got to play the role that she booked. So that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Yeah, man. Yeah, I thought it was good too, Metatron. I thought it was decent. I wasn't mad at it. I mean, like I said, some of the parts was kind of cheesy, you know, especially them, you know, the secret handshake. It's just, you know, come on, man. What are we doing? You know, since when they got what did she just hit a home run? Are she dapping everybody up in the dugout? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was a little much. I mean, because think about the massive size of these Titans. All right, think of the size of these Titans. These Titans are freaking huge, man. Man, these Titans ain't some little bitty ass. Like, ooh, they little Titans. Let me dap up. No, these Titans are the size of skyscrapers. All right, I mean, they trip over and knock down the entire state building. You know, they could literally lose an eyelash and it'll completely destroy the I-4, the eyesore on I-4. Right? And so you think that one of them big ass Titans is gonna reach down and be like, "Hey, what's up, little Kate? Go ahead, go ahead, give me a little dap right there." You know what I'm saying? Hey, what up, little Kate? Hey, what's happening? Hey, that's my homegirl, Kate. Hey, Kate, put her right there, homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Hey, go ahead, give me 5 on the black hand side. Yeah, let's have like what? Is that's what we doing? That's what we doing? You know how huge that thing is? Like the eggs are hatching babies that are bigger than the humans. And you think that this thing is reaching down saying, yo, give me 5 on the black hand side. That's right. Hey, say it loud. No. So other than that, I like the monster element. I like the integration. I like the fact, I like the world, the Axis Mundi. I like the hollow earth part. I even like, there's some monsters in this, and I'll close this part up with this. There's some monsters in this that I thought was really interesting, specifically these right here. Did you remember this scene? These monsters was so dope. I love the different monsters that they showed us throughout this show. Sometimes there was one in one of the episodes prior to this that the vines of the trees, they started to move. And then you realize the vines of the trees actually were attached to a monster that essentially looked like trees. So imagine all of those tree monsters or those tree folk from Lord of the Rings. Forward to season 3, excuse me. And so we're going to check that out when it comes out. Maybe even cover it a little better than we did this time. But as of right now, I just at least wanted to give my little opinion on this one. And I, my friend, am going to give this series, at least for now, 1 thumb up. Is that cool? Can I give it 1 thumb up? I give it 1 thumb up. All right. If I had to give it a score out of 10, I'm probably going with like a 7, maybe even a 6.5. I'm gonna give it like a 7. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend it. If you ain't seen it, go ahead, give it a gander. All right. A couple other things real quick, man. I just thought that I'd bring this up, but just a quick reminder, make sure you guys do me a favor. If you're here right now, you like what you're watching, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. All right. And comment. This is an open combo. This is not me preaching or teaching to y'all. My pops is a preacher, my mom's is a minister, but me, I just talk. All right. It's a part of what makes me what I am. All right, so I want to get a little bit more into the boys here coming up in a second, and I definitely want to talk Daredevil with you. And I do want to talk a little bit of From as well, and I want to tell you what my homeboy said about the Michael movie, which he says everybody should go see. Now, me, I'm not really huge on the Michael movie. Some of y'all have already heard that. Not that I don't like Michael or that I haven't seen it or that I don't want to see it, but I'm just like, all right. All right, I've seen a lot of stuff about Michael, and for me, I didn't have to necessarily see anymore. But outside of that, I figured I'd just give you guys a couple of quick tidbits, newsworthy of our platform. So this I thought was pretty cool. Coming soon, we will evidently be getting a Solo Leveling live action production, which I think is cool. Anime coming live action is dope. So I ain't gonna say nothing other than that. Definitely look forward to that. Also, quick message. Check this out. And for those of y'all that did watch that show that we called Cheeks of War, this dude gave us a pretty good rendition. Oh, you see him behind the scenes. Hold up. This dude gave us a pretty good rendition at or at least what I think is a good observation as it pertains to the Cheeks of War or Chief of War as we saw it, and why some people was or was not hating on certain characters and not others. I'm gonna play this real quick and I'm gonna be right back.
Aloha. So I was at the gym today, and out of nowhere, this idea popped into my head about these two and the double standard and the reactions of people about these two characters really got me thinking. Now, it's wild to me that so many of our own Hawaiian people got so upset about a half African-American man and Hawaiian man playing the character of an ancient Hawaiian chief. And these people were so upset, they went out of their way to leave comments like this. And I think it's funny because nobody bats an eye when Jason Momoa plays a Hawaiian Kaiana, but they have a problem with Moses down here playing a Hawaiian. You telling me Moses can't play Moku, but Jason can play Kaiana? See, the double standard here is Moses is half black and Kanaka Maoli. Jason is white Kanaka Maoli. But we have been groomed and indoctrinated to think that being white Hawaiian is normal, but being black Hawaiian isn't. That's wild to me. How was the man up here any more Hawaiian than the man down here? How was the man down here any less Hawaiian than the man up there when they both carry the koko of kupuna? Just find it funny that we're so open and accepting of the mixed white and indigenous, but we're so not accepting of African American indigenous. And this isn't the first time I've witnessed this. We as a people need to re-indigenize our minds and stop thinking like that, because the fuck. I got nothing to really teach on this. I'm just trying to point out the double standard.
All right. First of all, homeboy, great message, and I'm glad that you're out here to deliver the message. But next time you do it, can you do it inside the house and not by your mailbox? Can we get an actual clear message where we're not hearing like the Amazon truck behind you, so we can not miss out on the glorious message that you're giving us? Just kind of kidding a little bit, but kind of being serious a little bit. But nah, he's right. He's right. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I thought Jason Momoa had Samoan in him, But yeah, what you learned here, homeboy, Kilio no Palonuni. What you learned here, man, is that when you mix black, then essentially you're going to get backlash. All right. That's just the way it is here in the United States, because that's the mindset that we were indoctrinated with. All right. Unfortunately, it's the reality. All right. And then for whatever reason, when you start talking about it, you're going to get people in your comment section saying you're being divisive, man. Just enjoy it. No, let's call out people for doing what they're doing and they being racist. Okay, so I applaud you for bringing out this. I don't know much about the Hawaii. I mean, all I know about Hawaii now is Kamehameha, and I think that's a really cool thing for them to have as a culture. Is that one of their first kings was a dude named Kamehameha, and that's what Goku says when he throws off his spirit ball. But this message right here doesn't need to be painted over. So I'm glad that he put this out there. I would definitely advise anybody who took to this message. I'm going to go ahead and show you his page once again. I think he's worth a follow at least, because it takes a little bit of boldness to come out and give that message, because you know that when you come out with messages like this, you're going to get hit with the backlash. And so I applaud you for putting that out there in the street, homeboy. Let's go ahead and get that man a hand. Well done, sir. Well done. Oh, let's keep that energy going. So, in addition to this, like I said, guys, there's a lot of other things to chat on. Let's go ahead and move forward, and let's talk a little bit of From real quick. Why don't we? Let's just talk just a little bit of From if we can. Now, I'm not Anthony, of course, but we did recently speak to Nathan D. Simmons. And look, the show crazy. All right, the show crazy. And I think that that's the way they intended it to be. They don't have any intention of making anybody have any closure, any understanding. All you get is question, more questions and more questions. And I guess that's good. But it's also frustrating. Can we just keep it real? The show frustrating. All right. Because every time they answer a question, they open up 5 more questions. All right, we thought we was getting somewhere when we learned that there were characters that were in this universe, in this From town, that actually had been recycling their lives essentially for all this time. We thought that we were breaking open some new, oh snap, we know something. And Kui, it means remember. But what do we know now? Not much of anything. Well, let's talk about what happened in this last episode real quick. And I need some of your help from some of y'all. Some of y'all are more From aware than I am. Thank you, Markeisha. Oh, I need to hear that. What's up, Maria? How art thou? ¿Cómo está usted? Okay, so this most recent episode, we're going for a spoiler. In this most recent episode, we kind of learned that one of the members of this cast is starting to go off the rails a little bit. Even though we kind of already knew that and kind of expected it a little bit, one of them is kind of starting to be like, yeah, nah, I'm not with all of this stuff that y'all are into. And I'm going to go ahead and find my own way. And I bet y'all ain't tried this, and I bet y'all ain't tried that, and all this other crazy stuff. And of course, I am speaking about Cop Lady. All right, y'all know the Cop Lady I'm talking about. She decided this episode she was gonna jump in the car in the ambulance and just drive home. Like anybody thought of that before, right? He said, "You know what? I'm out. Screw you guys, I get home." And everybody was like, okay, what about us? You think we ain't thought about that yet? Well, what ends up happening? They ended up seeing an old boy on the side of the road. All right. They saw the son who was mad and for the first time got brolic with his mom. Y'all saw that? Our little precious little son is getting brolic with mom. But before we go there, what exactly was she thinking was gonna happen? She thought she was just gonna hop in the car and ride down the street to IHOP, pick her up some blueberry pancakes, and come on back home. She thought you were just gonna head to the Waffle House right quick. You're just gonna jump in the ambulance and hey ho, I'll be right back. I'm finna head to Publix. Y'all need anything? I'm gonna hit the bodega and pick me up a beef patty or an empanada. No, bitch, you gonna go through the same endless loop we've all been stuck in all this time. What are you thinking? You know, didn't you already shoot somebody? Haven't you proven to be erratic and not necessarily best when it comes to thoughts? This is how you gonna solve the problem? By wasting all our gas? Have you noticed there is no gas stations in From Town? You just gonna up and just drive away? You know, the funniest part about some of these is when our boy Harold just gets to go completely ape shit and go crazy. He put out the tray and say, hey, what the fuck are you doing? What is wrong with you? You out here trying to get everybody killed around that one little goddamn you shit with that bullshit. Goddamn. What are you doing? What are you doing? Get your hands out here. yo, low key, Harold, low key's got like Chef from South Park vibes. Hello, children. Hey, Chef. You know, he get to get angry. Hey, I told you you gonna come out here with that bullshit right now. Get your ass out here with all that. No, gosh, stay. Stop all that. Yoke this girl out the car. Was like, nah, you wildin'. Calm your ass down. Go smoke some of that weed they got over there in the colony house and sit your ass down and chill while we devise a plan, or I'm gonna put your ass in the box. Fuck around, put you in a tree. Maybe you prefer to be stuck in some concrete in a pool where we can put you behind a plant and hide your face. I don't know, man. I want to see where this goes. I frankly still think that Mr. Kenny may actually have something happening along with this chick, but I'll digress for now. So I think that that's fascinating. But if I can skip to what I really think is the most fascinating. I think the most fascinating thing. Oh, hold on, this is an interesting read. Oh, let me show this to you real quick. So here, I just saw that she mentioned some stuff in this article. So let's read this together real quick. It says, I have 3 words to describe the Frumily: observant, passionate, and committed. The Frumily is the sole reason this From ride keeps rolling. It's been incredible to see people from so many different countries all over the world connected with each other just to talk about the show. The From theories and open discussions that are shared online create an interactive experience where us actors as well as the audience are all trying to figure out the pieces to this puzzle together, and we will. Teamwork makes the dream work. I think that's cool. I think that is a cool element of this show that I don't think really has been written too heavily about, is the fact that it is a audience-driven show and that they don't go mainstream. You don't see a lot of, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're watching like the NBA or like, you know, sports games or maybe even the news, you don't see a lot of advertisements for From, right? But the people who are into From are so into From. Like some of Anthony's best, I won't say best, but some of the most noteworthy content that he has that gets the most views and whatnot and the most attention, and the lives that have the most viewers are the ones that are centered around the From, because it's cult with its following. And I think that that's dope, and I'm glad that it's being rewarded for that with another season coming up here pretty soon. But I'd like to kind of talk about some of the things that I need y'all help trying to figure out, if that's okay. All right, because I'm still not necessarily completely understanding what's going on. All right, so we now know that, oh boy, let me get out my handy dandy IMDb, because y'all know I don't do names. So let me see if I can get the names right here so I can stop saying oh boy and stuff like that. All right, there we go. So Tabitha, we know that Tabitha and my dog Jane, what's his name is? Jane, Tabitha and her man from so many years, Jade. Tabitha and Jade are essentially the arbiters of the story. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that maybe their kids are possibly the ones that are trying to get us to remember, and they keep going back in time and trying to correct the story. So it's starting to feel like this whole From Town is a jigsaw portion, is a puzzle of sorts. But the problem is, the more you try to solve the puzzle, the more the people that made the puzzle punish you for trying to solve the puzzle. That's why when, unfortunately, when the main character, Jim, ends up perishing. Spoiler, this happened a few episodes ago, so y'all can't. I mean, this literally happened last season, so don't come to me with the why you gonna tell us? This happened last season. Calm down. Need you to know these things first. All right. When we learn of Jim's perishing and whatnot, now we're like, okay, well, what do we do now? Well, ordinarily you would have a funeral. You know, you live, laugh, learn, you move on. It takes time to heal wounds. But in this instance, they're like, no, we're going to save him. If I'm not mistaken, one of the young ladies, who she says, nah, man, we're gonna save this. Julie's like, nah, yo, we finna save my daddy. I'm finna go back, and I need you to go with me to come and save my daddy. So, hey, excuse me, sir, Mr. Randall, sir, you mind coming with me back to the woods where we both had seizures so I can save my daddy? So we learn in this one that she is now starting to accept the possibility that her brother Ethan, who essentially read what's happening in a comic book or a children's book of sorts, and has given her the title of Story Walker, that she's decided to lean in to the concept of being a story walker. So as a result, I think she's trying to kind of learn how to use these powers, because her brother knows what's up. You know what I'm saying? Ethan be knowing, even though he mad now and cussed out his mom like he was a child on that show Full House back in the day. You know, by the way, I wasn't allowed to watch that because some kids was getting attitudes with their parents. But I watched it in secret. I still seen it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now she's assuming, okay, maybe my little brother know what he's talking about. Maybe he ain't just an idiot. Maybe he actually has some clue into what it is that I am, or at least what it is that I'm supposed to be. And if I'm lucky, if I listen to him, then perhaps I may just be able to save my daddy. Well, I don't know, Jim. Because right now you got a lady who actually in Fromtown is actively working against you, and you don't even know it yet. And that's slightly scary. She's got to figure that part out, folks. She got to learn whether or not he got to figure out, they all need to figure out what exactly it is that they're going to do with this new young lady who is now in Fromtown, posing off herself as some sort of I guess like a damsel in distress to an extent, right? But in actuality is more of a wolf in sheep's clothing. I don't know. I feel like we're in for some pretty juicy surprises. The only question I really truly have is, what exactly is Julie doing here? What is Julie doing here? What is her purpose? What is she trying to prove? What does she really want? I have no idea. What is it that she wants? Well, if you ask me, I think that she's just here to cause problems, if we being honest. She's a part of the members of the Fromtown, of course, not the ones that live within Fromtown, but the ones that are in the woods, the ones that are stuck here for whatever. One of those leading members that thrives off of the fear that they instill in each one of these individuals in this picture. There's that level of evil, where they essentially are looking to capitalize on the fear that they instill in all of these individuals, and have the patience to do it over an extended period of time. And originally we thought that extended period of time was the last weeks or years that they've lived with the folks that keep winding up around the colony house after passing that tree in the road. But now what we're learning is that no, this has been happening for lifetimes. And for that, it's like, whoa, that's kind of hard for us to really that's a little hard. That's hard to cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know how it is that we can register or process this. I mean, we're talking about for lifetimes, man. How they don't even know what they were in these last few lifetimes. So how are they going to be able to really like navigate around what in this lifetime when we're still trying to figure out what happened in lifetimes before? I don't know, bro. It show make my head hurt sometimes. As entertaining as it is, it takes a special set of skills for one to be able to follow this show seamlessly, which is why it's so dope to have somebody like our boy Anthony on this whole entire journey. Because, like, whoa, like if we didn't have him to break this stuff down, I'd be like, yo, wait, what now? What? And the storylines have gotten so deep. There's so many of them, right? We still don't know what's going on with Pega. All right, Pega. That's not her name in the show. Her name in the show is Fatima. All right. Are they still together? Like Ellis and like she's been out of it ever since she gave birth to that man with the teeth. All right. Ellis, all right. Is he looking to take over the role of his Pops? Because Pops, I don't know if he's gonna make it all the way through the season, y'all. Even though it wouldn't make sense. I don't know if the show would survive without Harold. By the way, does Harold still have his issues? Because I haven't been seeing them lately. Does Harold still have his, or does fear take away the problems, or at least push them to the background? All right, because last I checked, Harold was having some serious issues, and it seemed like them things ain't going as poorly as they were before. All right. Also, before we get on to something else, there's also some cool stuff happening in town. Aw, look, Mr. Victor's now got a new roommate. Hey, Daddy. He gonna room with his daddy. Daddy, let's be roommates. Oh, it's been like 30 years since I had a roommate. You know what I'm saying? Whoa, Chin. Whoa. Okay, well, this other tree tonight. Yeah. This is we got a whole lot of stuff. I wonder what's gonna happen with that. You know, this dude, Victor, meeting his dad. I mean, now they're gonna be roommates, and so he's gonna be crying in his arms every morning. Dad, I'm so glad. I'm so sorry I wasn't here. Son, it's okay, son. It's okay. Oh, this part right here. Oh, that's crazy. Dude went into a pool. Yo, that part is crazy. So yeah, man, I don't know. Also, with regard to some of the characters on the show, I think we can all agree that maybe Sarah is one of the most scary because we really can't predict what it is that she's thinking or what she's gonna be doing. But I don't know. This young lady right here is starting to become a very close second. The one that we now know as the man in yellow, dressed in a dress, though, she's so devious. Like the fact that she's taken up the mantra of somebody who's hella Christian and has morals, but is anything but, is creepy. I think she's one of the only ones in the story that is completely antithetical to the character that she presents to the screen and to the rest of the people in From Town. And so I'm interested to see when they finally start picking up the clues and can finally start saying to themselves, hold on, who is this chick in real life? Where she really came from? And I wonder what's going to give that away. Is it going to be perhaps maybe them seeing if they have an opportunity to do some sort of autopsy? Maybe Christie's like, yo, hold on, this dude didn't die because of any injuries. He died because he was strangled or asphyxiation. Or will something else reveal what it is that she is? I just wondering how we're gonna figure that out. I feel like this young man right here knows more than what he's saying. So maybe we can give him a little bit more credit, because my man, since he read the books, he's the one that pulls up. It's like, no. This isn't how it happened in the comics. Yeah, little Ethan is like, yeah, man, you're the story walker. All right, you're the little kids, and I'm out because mom, you lied to us. Mom, freaking bitch. Mom, I hate you. I hate you, mom. I'm leaving. I'm gonna put his, what I'm saying, when he put his bag on the end of a stick and started walking on the road. Where you going, Ethan? Where you going? All right, the mall is closed on Sundays. All right, ain't no McDonald's in the neighborhood. Where is you going, young man? Where is you going? Who is you hiding from? Where you gonna eat at? Huh? What you gonna do when it get dark, young man? Question: have you ever ran away from home? Anybody here ever ran away from home? How did that go? How'd that work out for you? If you ran away from home as a child, which I did multiple times, a lot of times you end up right back at home. Them first couple days out, though, might be pretty cool. You might find yourself at a hotel room. You might find yourself staying at a friend's house. Oh, everything's cool, no rules. I can stay up late at night. But then you be like, man, I need a shower. And I miss my own bubble bath. Man, I wish I could make me a sandwich out the fridge. Damn, I miss my video games. And you end up crawling back home because you realize, damn, I didn't know I really had so much stuff here. Well, I got a feeling that's what Ethan's about to experience. He literally walked away and he didn't even get to the tree yet. And he's already getting pulled over by the people in the ambulance. So where are you going, Ethan? Is he at that point in life where he hates everything? Well, maybe not. Because where did Ethan actually go? He went to the woods where he had a curious encounter with his father. Well, at least it seemed like he did. What actually was happening when he went out into them woods? What actually was happening when he ran into his dad out there? Did he really see him? Was that really who that was? Was that a dream? Was that him seeing into another reality? Was that him traveling into another story like his sister? What's going on? Is he still alive in some area? Is he only dead to the people that saw him die? Is that his real body? Did they really kill him off? Thanks, Jim. That's his name. Appreciate it. I need that. The tree in the road, didn't they? Why haven't a group of them? That's a good question. Why haven't they just cut the tree in half? All right, they could have made fires out of that tree. My assumption is that they probably tried that, but I would love to see if they did try. What would they like? Can they just move the tree to my assumption, Jason, is that they don't actually have anything to do with that tree. They don't have any power over the tree. The tree isn't even the significant part. It's more of a landmark. So if they didn't see the tree, it'll be something else that stops them. And as soon as they get stopped, that's when they kind of get transported to this other world in which they're unable to escape. All right. Lastly, about this episode, we talked about the police girl. We talked about Ethan, Jim, talked about Julie. Okay. But oh yeah, and we talked about the new girl in yellow. But I'm still a little on the fence about what it is that we're going to anticipate from our homegirl. Tabitha's one thing, but from our homegirl Christy and her homegirl and her girlfriend, I suppose. I don't know if are they still together? Are they? I mean, I don't know what's going on with them. They haven't really expounded into that as much as of late. And the only reason I'm curious is because Christy did jump in that ambulance against the will of her girl. And they seem to spat about that kind of stuff all the time, right? That's not something that's unusual. But this time, I mean, she really could have been hurt. She got in the car with that crazy police lady. And I don't know. I'm sensing some discord between the two of them. And I hate to say it, but I get the sense that them as a couple may not make it, which opens the door for my boy Ricky. All right, Ricky. Now, Ricky should get multiple choices if they do end up breaking up. But I don't know. I don't know where Mickey's mindset is. I mean, Ricky clearly was interested in Christy at one point in time, and Christy seemed to be ready to reciprocate until her girl came back into the picture. But it feels like they're not jiving that well. So maybe this is when they end it. And maybe that opens up the door for Ricky. Or maybe Ricky just decides to stay Olo. I mean, who wants to develop another relationship when all the people closest to you keep getting killed? I.e. mom, dad, lady at the restaurant. So I don't know. And also, another quick side note. Julie, and y'all tell me if I'm tripping. Tell me if I'm tripping. But are you seeing something between Julie and Randall kind of happening a little bit? Am I the only one seeing that? Are y'all seeing a Julie Randall thing happening? All right. I mean, at first it was kind of like a big brother, little sister kind of thing. But it's starting to, I mean, Julie is clearly growing up, developing. She's developed in her mindset, right? She's developing her independence. I mean, we're talking about a woman who, in the same day she learned her dad died, is off in the woods trying to find her dad. Like, make it make sense. But she didn't go ask anybody other than Randall. Now, I know Randall also was one of the ones that got caught up in the seizures and whatnot and had that little, and so that's kind of the connection between the two of them a little bit. But I don't know, man. I'm getting this. Is it just me? I'm getting this sneaky, weird suspicion that there's a possibility that we may see something develop between these two individuals. That's a little bit more than just a brother-sister friendship type thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm tripping. And maybe I always just, whenever I see two people in the same room, I automatically think, oh, they must be finna get together or something. Maybe that's just my dirty mind. But all I do know for real is that we still don't know nearly as much as we probably will toward the end of this. I still don't know who the man in yellow is in real life. Do you? Who is it? Do y'all know who the man in yellow is? Do y'all know why knowledge comes with a cost? Do you know what knowledge they're talking about and why it comes at a cost? Do y'all know? Anybody? Speculating? All I can say is that I think that they thrive on, this has kind of got it vibes where they thrive off of the fear of people and maybe they eat it or they live off of it. And that's why it's so important for this man to have a new form that is able to walk amongst the people and from, so that he can subtly drop little fear candy drops and work within the town as opposed to just out the town. And also, we've acknowledged the fact that he's walking around in broad daylight. Broad daylight. So he's not like the other ones that die off or they can't be around the sun or whatever that is. This dude got his own thing going on. And now that we know he's a shapeshifter, we're like, all right, we don't really know what exactly he's fully capable of. So I guess we just gonna have to wait it out and see. And so when we do find out, we will let you know immediately. I will also advise you guys that if you are looking for more information on this, please do yourself a favor and go subscribe to the Movie Blog, which is our homeboy's site. And on there, you'll see that he does have some interviews with not only Elgin, like we did interview the other day, but also with Harold himself and the girl in yellow. You got to be a member to see those. But why not be a member? Go ahead, man. Go ahead and join the From family, of which we believe Anthony is like a leader in this family. And so definitely go and support our boy as he's doing nothing. But, and I mean, we talk about like what, $2 a month? That ain't nothing, man. So go ahead, join the family and get real exclusive access to real answers, to real breakdowns. Not like this one. This one's not as well done. I'm just gonna keep it real. I didn't get into From as early as Ant did, so he's got a lot more in-depth, involved theories, and he like Ant literally does it. Like you ever watch those shows where somebody like they're at a wall and they're like, okay, there's a shoestring from this to that, and oh, this is connected to this. Like that's Anthony. Like Anthony goes home and he's got like a wall, and he's like, okay, we've got Elgin's over here, and he's connected to the bus right here, and this was the diner. Why is the diner by the pool, and why is there no sign by the hotel? And he's got like this whole wall, and then he gets together and he puts these things together so that we can look at them on his site. And I think that's hella cool. So I would recommend y'all subscribe to my man's site. And like I said, you'll see on there where we not only him specifically, where we talk about From on there a lot, but also talk with some of the members of From. Just another quick preview or another little snippet. Like I said, we did talk to Nathan D. Simmons not too long ago. And here's just one of the things that we got a chance to share while we talked to the homie Nathan D. Simmons, who again is a whole clown. My dog is a whole clown. But check him out because I think he's a pretty cool dude as well. Here's a couple things that we shared after I had some technical difficulties in my broadcast.
That's gonna grow in and back to it. But I got
you're back filming in 2 months.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Jeez, like, summertime is so I'm hoping. Don't push us back to the winter, man. We shot once. Never again. Never again.
Yo,
right.
so Nathan,
no,
Nathan,
like,
real,
I came one time with a fade, just like a regular 10 fade. It's just growing for the show, but a regular 10 fade, and they had to put a bunch of filler. What's that stuff that when your hair thinning or whatever? And
yeah, that spray. That
spray. They put that spray on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's irritating. I kept doing this. Like, dude, man, I feel bad when them guys be getting the outlines, and I'm like,
oh, man.
I could never. I'll just be sitting there like, the whole hairline gonna go that way.
Nathan, you said you have a theater show that you're doing right now, but I'm just wondering what else do you have on the horizon that maybe you can talk about? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to check out other projects if I can.
All right. Well, I don't know. One show I did is called 0 to 60 Driving Academy. Had a season 2,
okay.
But it's hard to find right now. Hopefully, they're working on changing that. But really good show, really funny show.
Funny, yeah, it's a funny joint.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And I'm really happy with how this season turned out. So hopefully, that can get to a wider audience. And this show, and the theater show, man, I want to say this. So the girl that plays Clara on the show, she wrote this, right? She's an incredible comic comedian writer, like super funny. And she wrote this farce, and I'm so happy that they allowed me to step in and play one of the leads. And it's so funny. It's a farce, so there's a lot of running, falling, physical comedy, that's new for me. So I've been learning a lot. My body's beat up over it, but like it's so good. Yeah. So if you're in Nova Scotia and at any time the next month, 2 months comes through, drink on me. Yeah.
Hey.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, don't tempt me.
He will pull up.
Yo, come through.
John to let me come.
I will. I'll pull up, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't really have no more questions, but I just wanted to see if we could get a full solo layout shot of Nathan and have him sing something real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got the R&B vibes on real slick right now. And I just get the sense that, man, he's giving you my body all over your body. All over your body, girl. Let me
he gonna pick it. He got you.
I be saying this. I be saying this. I really sound. Lin. That's what we say next. Welcome to the Blood Podcast. Have a good one.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
You put the Barry White on him, man.
You better stop, boy! You better stop! Oh my god! Nah, he's so fun, man. He's so fun. I'm out of questions, man.
That's how I do talk, but you know.
Yeah, so the Bulls wild, man. Make sure y'all check out that full interview. It is live right now on the New Blurred Order. Actually, it's on exclusively on TMB on the movie blog. So make sure y'all give that a gander, and we'll go ahead and keep those interviews coming. In addition to that, like I said, interviews coming up next week, including one with this guy right here. Hallelujah! Our good old homeboy Jeremy Isaiah Earl is going to join the podcast. We're going to be asking him a bunch of questions, and so let's use this as a segue to go ahead and talk about what's going on in the Daredevil universe, and not only Daredevil, but also let's talk about the boys, because there's a theme going on right now in these universes, and that theme is centered around death. So if you watched both of these shows, all right, if you watched both of these shows, and I'm speaking about the Daredevil show, okay, Daredevil Born Again, season 2, episode 5, if I'm not mistaken, and The Boys, the most recent episode, episode 5, season 5, which I believe is the last season that we have here. There is a theme between the two of them. Let me go ahead and give y'all a spoiler warning right now and give y'all just a moment or two. If you don't want to have this spoiled, let's just go ahead and let y'all go about whatever it is you got to do. All right. Yep. All right. We spoiling. We ready? All righty. Here it comes. So some people died in these episodes, and I will now reveal who some of them are. Let's go ahead and start with our good old show, Daredevil. So if you've been following Daredevil, then you already know that they have been at least very good at keeping the show full of different types of characters. There is not one kind, and that's a good thing, because sometimes you'll watch a show and they'll have, it seems like the script essentially gives you the same kind of character but with different people. With this show, no, they actually did flesh out some of these characters. One of those characters is, I believe, James Gandolfini's son. And James Gandolfini's son in this show has a pivotal role, as he's essentially like a sidekick to the Kingpin, right? Well, I sure hope I'm right about this. Let me go do a little bit of research. So my man right here, and let me make sure I get these words right, because this, you know what? I should probably just do this pre-taped and then just release it. No, I like being live. I like being able to speak with people live. But yeah, my man, his name is you know what? I don't know what his name is, man. It's Gandolfini something. I know that. If I ain't mistaken, I'm pretty sure like something Gandolfini. I think he's Gandolfini's son. Yeah, Michael Gandolfini. Got it right. He plays the role of Daniel Blake. All right. Daniel Blake. I don't know if you want to call him a villain. I don't know if you want to call him a hero. But Daniel Blake is crucial in his role because he's essentially like the moral figure of the Kingpin outfit, right? He has this unfortunate connection, I would say unfortunate to for his sake, connection with BB, who is the niece of Ben Urich, who was from the Netflix Daredevil shows. Ben Urich, one who suffered by the hands of Kingpin, I believe, who was the first one to have his head crushed. All right. Was basically spilling the beans on Kingpin to everybody, letting them know, like, yo, this dude is not who he says he is. And he paid the price for it. Well, here's his niece, and she's on that same shit. She's trying to uncover the fuckery that people don't get to see behind the scenes as it pertains to Wilson Fisk. And she's using this dude as a simp in order to do so. But I think we got in this episode a low-key character arc that could be considered a redemption arc, right? Because essentially Michael Gandolfini, all right, his character has to decide, do you want to kill the only person who would seem to show interest in you, even though you could argue that it's not actual real interest, that she's being used? Okay, he's being used to garner information from an informative tip, spy-like, so I can put it out on my new Kingpin. What was that? What's that thing she had? She's got like this website where she dresses up like Kingpin, and and she kind of like exposes him on the low key. Well, the information's been coming from him, and he hasn't even known it. And now Buck, one of the creepiest dudes in this series, because he dresses well but kicks your ass and will bury you, and then he'll use like a kitchen knife to chop you up in the woods. But now his targets are focused on BB. And BB is Michael's friend. So Michael has been presented. I'm sorry, not Michael. That's not his actual name. His actual name is Daniel in this series. But Daniel is presented with a pickled conundrum, an ultimatum, so to speak. Now, listen, he's got a thing for BB, and who wouldn't? Look at BB. She's an attractive young lady with spunk, with a future, who has a good head on her shoulders, articulate with drive, right? And I'm feeling like he's probably feeling, even though she's leading him on like fuck, but they're both, as he said in the episode, using each other. But it ultimately came down to, all right, Buck says, look, BB's the informant. We know that she's the one that's leaking all this info, and she's doing it through you. But we can fix this, Daniel. All I need you to do, you don't even got to kill her. Just bring it to me. I'll handle it. And then you'll be all right. Now, mind you, this is happening amidst the time in which there's a whole trial going on. They're trying to convict Daredevil's girlfriend, who Karen, for being essentially a starlighter. You know what I'm saying? Like for causing ruckus amongst the streets and kind of exposing the bullshit that everybody doesn't know about Wilson Fisk. And they caught her and my man that's here with my dog Jeremy Isaiah Earl, Powell, it's just Powell. Powell he arrested her, and now she's locked up, and they're putting her on trial so that they can kind of make these folks who are resisting Kingpin's whole arc in jail. But while that's happening, the backstory is that our boy Daniel has been presented with this ultimatum. Do you bring us the girl that you, I don't want to say love, because I think love is thrown around too much, but are really interested in, at least at bare minimum, have developed a pseudo friendship with, who's met your mom, come to your house in Staten Island, eaten with your family, seen where you grew up, who has seen the you behind the veil. They knows the soft inner core that exists inside that hard outer shell that you present to Wilson Fisk. Do you now serve her up on a platter to your superiors, or do you take the moral high ground and somehow allow her to not necessarily walk into a trap? Well, folks, guess what? Our boy took the moral high road. Our boy was like, you know what, man? Fuck all that. I don't give a fuck about Buck. Fuck Buck. You know what I mean? This is about me and my homegirl BB. So he ends up saying is, yo, I am going to go ahead and let you go, BB. Go, get out of here, BB. I'm going to take care of this. I got you. All right. We're going to go ahead and figure this out. But you go ahead and go about your business. All right. And that, unfortunately, would be the last thing that my dog does, because Buck meets up with him and is like, yeah, you a problem, bro. And you know what we do with problems? We end them. And as a result, we see no more of this. This is an interesting clip, though. Let's see what they're talking about.
How's that rash on your?
It's tingles.
Right. Yeah.
I'm using these creams that are.
These
I found them in
creams?
your cupboard. Yeah, the rash creams.
Right. I can't stand working with him. Everyone wave hello. Look at that.
Yeah, he does got. I love seeing behind the scenes stuff, man. So yeah, unfortunately, our boy Daniel took the moral high road. Now, does this mean he's actually dead? I mean, does getting shot in the head automatically make you dead nowadays? I mean, we just saw a lady take a thing of ice to the head and survived at least for a little bit. And we also know that a friend of ours, who's now considered a friend, Bullseye, fell off a whole building and survived. Okay. I mean, how many bullets has Daredevil taken? Is it possible that maybe they could revive our boy Daniel? Is there any possibility that he's not fully 100% gone? I have my doubts. I mean, because we're talking point blank range to the head. And normally when it's the very last thing they do, I don't know. It's not good. You know what I'm saying? This is not invincible. These are not Viltrumites. These are human beings. So my assumption is that our boy Danny is no longer. And perhaps that is what we need for this character, for this show. We need a moral dilemma. We need them to spice it up in the moral arc department. All right. We need them to say, all right, well, yeah, here's somebody you thought was evil or bad, but turns out he's just a dude. All right. And Wilson Fisk took him under his arm the same way Penguin took old boy under his arm. I believe just used him, even though maybe he did see some potential in him. But ultimately, he's still just a dude, man. And he did dude stuff. So for that, you kind of got to just let it be. All right. I don't know, though. I think I've been waiting to see. Nah, it's all good. Skylar, appreciate you pulling up, man. Yeah. Okay. All right. We're going to start over. Skylar. By the way, it's just me today, homeboy. Everybody's off. So let's go ahead and leave that storyline alone. And can we also talk about some of the other crazy stuff that's going on in this story? All right. Such as the fact that now Jessica Jones has entered the chat. And with Jessica Jones, what we got was a whole new introduction to a completely different story that we did not know that we were asking for. Okay, here's her daughter, Danielle. All right. And Danielle, if you didn't notice, seems to be of melanated descent. Intentional? Absolutely. And what does Jessica Jones ask in this episode what did she ask old boy when she was talking to, she asked about Luke. Now, oddly enough, another thing that shouldn't go unnoticed is that when Jessica Jones confronted old boy, the dude that we know as Shaggy, all right, when she confronted that character, the one who was trying to boss Kingpin around, he was actually afraid of her. I mean, it seemed that he was presenting a literal bit of fear with regard to Jessica Jones, because he know what Jessica Jones is capable of. Even though he was like, "Oh, I hear your powers aren't working like they used to," she was like, "All right, it don't matter. I can still, just with my own hands, I kick your ass." And what did she ask him about? She asked him about Luke Cage. And what did he say? He said Luke Cage is fighting overseas. What is he doing overseas? What is going on? What is What is Luke Cage? He's a freedom fighter. He's fighting for Matt Lillard's character. And why is she so interested in Luke Cage? Is it because they had a one-night stand and she had a baby from it and didn't tell nobody until now? Is it because he owed child support? I hope not. I don't want to fall into that trope. All right. What does she need Luke Cage for? For love? Companionship? Fatherhood? What exactly do we need to track down Luke Cage for, other than, in my opinion, to let him know that he has a child? Why does this man not know he has a child if that's the case? This man, he got a whole nother woman. He done went through Misty Knight. He done went through Rosario Dawson. And now you finna pull up talking about something. Hey, how come you ain't even taking care of your baby? How come you ain't tell me I had a child? You out here hiding out somewhere in the Hamptons, and I'm overseas fighting for my freedom, and you just gonna pull up on me and tell me I owe $20,000 in child support? That's what we doing right now? You just gonna pull up on me out the blue and just tell me, oh, by the way, you got a child, you deadbeat pussy ass boy. How come you ain't out here taking care of your business? How come you ain't out here taking care of your children? Because, hey, I didn't know I had kids. All right, you ain't say nothing that night. I thought you were supposed to be so strong. You couldn't fight off a pregnancy, or you could fight off all these men, but you couldn't fight that one that was trying to kind of get into the egg. Like, what am I supposed to understand about this, man? You just gonna pull up on me? What are you looking for me for? You got my number? What is we doing? Like, how Matt can find me, but you can't find me. But the baby beautiful though. But don't just run up on me talking about, oh yeah, where you been? I've been working. What you been doing? You know, you out here just gonna just walk up on me, just pull up on me, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to just, that's my baby. Okay, like, how I know? I'm gonna need a whole DNA test, because you outside, Jessica, and you be drinking a lot. I don't know what you be remembering. Okay, so let me just keep that 100. But yeah, she sure had old boy shaking in his boots. Pulled up on his house, was like, don't be sending people to my crib. I had my whole daughter. She said, oh, well, how is Danielle? Bitch, you know about Danielle? How you gonna send people? Oh, we was just there to scare you. And scare me? All right, you want to scare me? Send me a balance that says that I'm gonna have a lien on my house. Don't be sending folks with grenades, throwing them in my window. Who is you? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Old boy's a little too slick, Mr. Charles. He a little too slick. First thing he said was, them powers ain't working. I got a feeling he might have either some information about that or might be the cause of that. And that makes this story even more interesting. So yeah, I can't wait to see even more Daredevil, and I can't wait even more to talk to our boy. Excuse me. I can't wait even more to talk to our boy Jeremy Isaiah Earl, who we will be talking to next week. So make sure y'all are here, because I will be releasing those clips, and we'll be chatting with him about his role in this Daredevil series that we love so much. He did have a role to play in the court. They didn't really elaborate as much as I would really like them to, as to what exactly it is that happened in that building as to make it so that he's still alive. We didn't really get the full arc of that. And so I'd love to talk with him not only about that, but also about the whole process of him now having makeup, since he has this weird eye thing going on. And y'all know he had to sit in that makeup chair for a while. So, you know, I got to ask him about how it feels to be sitting there in that chair, dealing with all this makeup, prosthetics being put on his face, having to just wait. Are you able to remember your lines? You see, he got the AirPods in, right? Is he listening to a book? Is he listening? Is he on the phone? Is he listening to Sade? Is he just trying to have something in his ears that'll block the noise out? What's going on right there, homeboy? Is he listening to our podcast right now in both of them ears? I hope it is. But I really want to know, like, how grueling is this process? All right, how much time? Because I know that time lapse, it did not happen that quick. Okay. I also want to know about his role, because last time he was kind of like a bodyguard to Kingpin, but this time he seems to be more of like I don't want to say sidekick, but like a co-pilot to the plane that is running the task force along with Mr. Power here. All right. So we will be chatting with him about that next week. But make sure y'all are in the building. Don't miss that in addition to our upcoming, which is going to be mid-May. This isn't happening next week. We're going to be talking to Carl Jones mid-May. But definitely we'll be chatting with my man right here. That we will be earned next week. And so don't miss that, if you will. Now, last thing on the docket for today as we start to get ready to wrap up, I got to talk with y'all about the boys, because the boys are back in town, right? And like I said, death is a central theme as of right now. We're getting a lot of that in these shows, specifically in the Daredevil show and in The Boys. The Boys was a little bit more shocking to me, if I can be honest with y'all. I was not expecting what happened in The Boys to happen the way that it did. So let's go ahead and discuss before we get this thing wrapped up. Why don't we? So if you've been watching The Boys, then some cool things happened this episode. The first cool thing, and I'll go ahead and just say outright, is if you were by chance in your life ever a fan of a show called Supernatural, then this was a wet dream of talent put together, because you now have not only Dean, but you got Sam, Dean, Dean. And not only did you have Sam and Dean, but I think we also had the angel, oh man, what was his name in the show? What was his name? Azel? Oh shoot, I cannot believe I forget his name. But there was an angel in the show as well that was always palling around with them. And now even he had a pivotal role in this show, at least in this episode, right? Check it, man. I'm yeah, there he is. Oh my God, yo, nah, bump that, man. Supernatural angel. I need to know his name. It was like Galadriel. No, it wasn't Galadriel. Yes, Castiel. Haha, Castiel. Yo, the Winchester. Yes, Sam, Dean, Sam. The only one they're missing is the one from Hell. My dog that played Castiel. Thank you, Grace. Okay, Grace. I know you watched this whole time. You watched Supernatural. I watched all the way up to like season 13, and I was like, all right. When you got God fighting the darkness, and the darkness is a sister, and I was like, all right, y'all wildin'. But yeah, man, I loved seeing, like Fernando says, the Winchester brothers, Sam, Dean. And the only one I think that was missing was my dog in Hell, the Lucifer. He was the king of Hell for a little bit. He wasn't in this episode, but it was kind of cool to see this reuniting. The super. I would go a little further, Skylar. I think it was top tier to probably about season 10, maybe. I like when they introduced Dark Kaya. Oh my God, they had this character Dark Kaya who only was on like 3 or 4 episodes. One of the most badass chicks that was literally like, she walked around like the Undertaker. She had a scythe as her weapon, and she wielded it like Donatello wielded a bow. And she dressed up like the Reaper, and she would cut off the heads of vampires and werewolves and shit. Oh my God, making Dark Kaya, man. I made a video about her like 3 years ago. And oh my God, I just love that character. But yeah, Will Forte, Seth Rogen, McLovin, all of them were in this room where they were sitting there talking about the Hollywood elite that they couldn't stand anymore, that they were going to expose for being starlighters. When in comes Soulja Boy, in comes Homelander, and they're like, yeah, we got to talk. And this is kind of unfortunate because in this episode, you kind of get the unification of Homelander and Soulja Boy, despite the fact that they have essentially in this season been trying to kill each other low key. Soulja Boy puts him in some little room where it's superhero powered and it's got radiation in it. But before that, Soulja Boy had been sent off to die by Homelander, who essentially threw him to the wolves and sent him over to the boys to be exposed to the Scourge virus. I know the Scourge is invincible. I'm just showing the similarities. All right. But the whole virus, because he didn't want to be playing second fiddle to anybody, especially to somebody who evidently, in Soulja Boy's case, is actually immortal, because Soulja Boy was made with V1. And with the V1, that makes it so that he's immortal. So he wasn't affected by the virus that he was tried to be exposed to. He was actually exposed to be more durable than Homelander. Even though Homelander can fly and has eye lasers and loves milk and all that stuff, Soulja Boy can live forever. He's infinite. He is immortal. Even without all those powers, and even though he loves coke and whores and all that other stuff that he likes to talk about a lot, the one thing he got on Homelander is immortality. And that's what Homelander wants more than anything else. He wants to be supreme being. Number one, numero uno, el segundo al nadie. All right? And that's another reason why Homelander in this series, in this season, isn't just looking for ways to be the best. He's looking for ways to be the only. And by the only, I mean the supreme being. He was at first just looking to run Vault. Then he just wanted to be heralded as a hero. Then he just wanted to be respected and the top member of the Seven. Of course, he's been that since the get, but he wanted to be running it on his own and not to be led by anybody, any of the corporate heads up in the Vault. But now he's like, nah, man, after going to church a couple times and seeing the way that people look at they Jesus, my dog is like, yeah, you know what? I think I want to be Jesus. You know what? I don't even want to be Jesus. I want to be God. I'm not even willing to play second fiddle because Jesus was the Son of God. And then my man, the preacher dude was like, well, yeah, they say that Jesus was the reincarnate, but he's actually God and the Son at the same time. He's like, nah, I ain't with all that. I just want to be God. There ain't nobody else bigger than me. Can't nobody fuck with me. So can you go ahead and get out there and make this Democratic Church of America so that we can put the word out that I'm God, so people can stop testing me? And please get me some V1 ASAP so I could be immortal, so that I can't be walking around here with my dad having something over me. That's the only thing he got over me, is that he's immortal and I'm not. Even though they got this weird little thing where they messing with the same women, but not messing with the same women. All right, the whole firecracker bit with, whatever, whole bunch of stuff. So that's an interesting element of it. Now the show's going in all different directions, and it might even be getting a little murky. But they got, I think, five more episodes to wrap this shit up, because this is what they say is the final season of The Boys. And so you're probably gonna see things speed up here a little bit as they start to get towards the end of this show. All right. Oh, you like te gustas mi español? Si es necesario, puedo hablar con español en español todo el tiempo, porque yo sé dos lenguas. Entonces, si es mejor para usted, puedo hablar con este para el futuro. All right, I don't know if that makes any sense. My questions are the V1 recipients truly immortal or just ageless? Because it's not like we've seen Soulja Boy get his head cut off, his heart. Well, I mean, that's a good question. Skylar. I think they're immortal. Now, immortality has its qualms, right? Like immortality, of course, you say, well, what if they get blown up? Well, look at Kimiko. Kimiko is immortal. She's been blown up. She's had her body cut in half. She's had a whole bunch of crazy stuff happen to her. She's still around. So yeah, my assumption is that if Kimiko was melted in a vat of acid, that you could put her in a jar or a bucket and she'd grow back. And that's what I'm assuming would happen with Soulja Boy. Because Soulja Boy, they didn't kill him. Remember, they just froze him in carbonite. I mean, speaking figuratively, he wasn't frozen in carbonite, but they just essentially put him in a hyperbolic chamber and froze him for a bit. So yeah, I don't think that they just, are just immortal in name only. I think that they're immortal. I think you're right. Just ages probably would be. I don't think so. I disagree, Metatron. I think that they would actually keep him alive. As well, I love the boys. I'm glad they're wrapping this up. It's been okay. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. I am curious. As to whether or not this is the actual end. Because like I told y'all before, I don't think this is the end of I think this might be the end of The Boys, the series. But I think that what we're going to end up with is a bunch of different spinoffs. All right. We might get a A-Train spinoff or a Starlighter spinoff or maybe a Mother's Milk spinoff or something else. I think that they will continue this franchise in some way or form, even if it's an animated series. But one way or another, even once this show comes to the end, I do believe that this will not be the ultimate end of what we know as The Boys. All right, so that'll at least give us some more time to keep talking about it because there are, I think, 4 or 5 more episodes left to this show. So we'll be able to speculate and talk about what didn't happen, what looks like it is, what looks like it isn't. And hopefully, I guess we won't be, but I was going to say, hopefully we get even more supernatural mashups. But I think this was brilliant. I like the way that they did this mashup. I like the way that they included these dudes, Sam D, and didn't make it so that it's a new wave, but they actually made them kind of conflict with each other. And I'm going to leave that little tidbit. I know I spoiled enough already, but I feel like that's at least something that you would enjoy if you do get an opportunity to watch it. So do us a favor, tune into this show and watch, as we will be covering it for the rest of the season. And now we're only down to those couple shows. So we actually now have Daredevil, which we'll be covering, which next week, like I said, we will have on the homie, Jeremy Isaiah Earl, or AKA Mr. Cole North from Kingpin himself, sidekick of none only the one and only Powell. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be open up a little bit more about Michael. And of course, we will continue to talk about The Boys as that show is going to be panning out. I also have a new venture that I might be embarking on, that I might be bringing y'all along with. I wonder if I could tease it. All right, let me tease it just a little bit. All right, I'll just say this. One of our guests that we've had on in the past might be starting a podcast. Somebody we know with a pretty vast following that does a lot of dancing like this. And we might be starting something together pretty soon. We'll keep an eye open for that. But for right now, go ahead and continue to be your authentic self. Because if you ain't being yourself, you're being fake. And there is no honor in that. And if you a geek, like we say in all things, go ahead, let that good old geek flag fly. Deuces, appreciate y'all pulling up on me. Let's roll.
Listen up. New Blurred, hold on, can I do it again? Hey, check out New Blurred Order. They're a whole vibe. It's the newest thing on the, sorry, let me try that again. I'm so sorry. Hey, shout out to New Blurred Order. They're a whole vibe. The funniest people, the friendliest people, and also the nerdiest people you ever see. And they're black. Check them out.